Greetings and welcome to our semester. From your introductions on the community wall and from your forum discussion, several things were quite clear. One is that you understand well the concept of resilience, the idea that risk factors can also be protective factors and vice versa, that something that's a risk factor for one person may actually be a protective factor for another, that risk and protective factors at all systemic levels are continuously changing. Good news about that is if you feel overwhelmed by risk, you can identify the exact protective factors that you might employ to change the balance. Another thing that you mentioned was the ripple effect. And of course, there's a ripple effect or pile up not only of risk factors, but also of protective factors. So once you identify what these risk and protective factors are for you, then you have a roadmap for how to take care of yourself. And you can make this roadmap also for your clients so that they can have the knowledge to do what they need to do in order to make themselves feel better or in order to be less symptomatic. A very important protective factor, for example, might be calling you and letting you know what they need. It was also clear that you all are going to be a very cohesive group that are going to serve as an important protective factor for each other. And I'm hoping that that will continue not only through this program, but after you're done with this program into your work life, you can be a very powerful support group for one another. As you know, by this point, there are things that you will experience that you have to talk about that you really can't or shouldn't be talking about at home. But you can get that support from one another, and that's really critical. So someone mentioned the importance of not keeping things bottled up, and that's where your colleagues come in. It was also clear that within this group there is such a breadth and depth of experience that you are going to be resources for each other, drawing from your own work and life experiences to help each other understand different issues and different perspectives. Here's a list of a few of the things, a few of the experiences that you mentioned bringing to this class. Administration, working with transition-aged youth, working in child welfare, managing a maternity home. The list goes on for a while, so just settle in. Working in adult protective services, working in mental health, working, helping folks get re-engaged with the workforce, hospice, drug and alcohol rehabilitation, HIV/AIDS, training service animals, or helping manage that training program, working in probation, managing resources for homeless people, working in tribal TANF, working with autistic and developmentally disabled people, medical social work, and traumatic brain injuries. Now, imagine if there were to be um, a textbook that talked about all of the issues that I just mentioned, and included all of the wisdom that you all have based on your experiences. Um, that wouldn't be a textbook. It would be an encyclopedia. Come here. There's Etta, Miss Etta James. She came in the day that Etta James, or the month that Etta James went out. So she wanted to say hi, I guess. Okay. Um, and so you have not only the course materials, but you have this amazing resource of one another. And so I'm trusting that your experiences will inform your discussions, um, and you will have that encyclopedia as a resource, in addition to all the supportiveness and cohesion that you have already built, or are currently building with the advanced standing students. So welcome, and remember that no matter what you experience at any point during this semester in life or work, everything makes a good story eventually.